morning. There's no training today for Impact 365. However, I did feel compelled to share this with you guys this morning. If you never got together to pray as a family, with you and your spouse or with your children, I want to encourage you to lock hands with them this morning to pray. I believe that starting to pray with your family will kick off a ripple effect, and it will have a huge impact on your kids moving forward from this day on. Kids, they need to see examples, and it's our job to set examples for our children. And what better example to set than to lock hands with your kids to let them know that there's a God that we serve that is greater than us. And he's able to supply all of our needs according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. Your kids need to know that. And I strongly believe that it's going to change their mindset. It's going to change their mentality because kids go through things themselves. A lot of times as adults, we don't think kids go through things, but we're learning that kids actually, they go through things. They carry weight of maybe going to a different school, or they may carry weight of trying to figure out how to navigate relationships while at school, or being bullied, or whatever it is. Kids carry weight. And we as adults need to make sure that we teach them how to deal with those things that they're carrying. And I don't think there's no better way than setting an example today of prayer with your kids. This is a day, it's Saturday morning right now, and those kids, they're probably at home in bed right now, but pretty soon they'll be getting up. And start today with an example of prayer with your children, and inform them of what you expect of them. Let them know what you expect of them. I think sometimes our kids need to hear our expectations of them. Okay, and let them know that, hey, look, I expect you to be the best. I expect you to prosper. I expect you to be good in school. And tell them who they are. Let them know that, you are a child of God, and that you are a king's kid, and that you're strong, and that, you are handsome, you're good looking, and whatever it is that you feel will make a connection with your kid, I encourage you to do that on today, and allow those words to be a seed in their life that will bring forth the harvest in their future. Our kids are our future, and we say that all the time, and we have to pour into our youth. That is something that we're passionate about here at Impact 365, pouring into our youth because they need it. And I think it's especially important right now because it's school time. And at school, these kids, they experience being around kids who don't have the same level of home training that our kids do. And sometimes our kids get sucked into that environment. They get sucked into the negativity that goes on at school. But we want to establish prayer with our youth and with our children, that they don't get sucked in, because they know that I have a mother and I have a father that loves me. I have a mother and I have a father that prays for me. They lock hands with me and they tell me who I am. They tell me that I can overcome anything if I put my mind to it. Prayer will change your current circumstance. Prayer will change your kids' current circumstance. So on today, although we don't have training, I highly encourage you to start to pray on today with your children. Now, if this is brand new for you, it may seem difficult, it may seem challenging, but you know what? It's okay. Work through it. Work through it. Take your time and let them know that, hey, look, no, I'm not perfect with this because it's new to us, but this is something that I want to start in a family because I believe it's important. I want us to pray. I want us to lock hands, and I want us to pray. And look, you may be nervous, even though that's your child or your children, you may be nervous because the devil don't want that. The devil don't want you to lock hands and to pray with your children. But I encourage you on today to use your voice and speak to your children and call out to God and talk to him about the things that you need. And I'm not just talking about a need that's current. I'm talking about in the future. What do you need in the future? Do you need your kids to be able? Do you need yourself to be able to afford private school for your kids? Do you need something else that you trust in God for, and you know that a year or two down the road you're going to need, whether that's a vehicle or what have you, whatever you need, bring it before God today in the midst of your children and let them know that, hey, look, this is a goal. This is what we're working towards. And I think it's very important to share your vision with your family. It's very important. Your kids need to know what it is that you're trusting God for. Your kids need to know what you expect of them. And ultimately, I think that prayer will let your kids know that they're loved. Anytime you gather with your family and hold hands and speak with them, it lets them know that they're loved, that you care enough to spend time with them on a personal level, on a one-on-one level. It lets them know that they're loved. So I hope this message has been helpful to you. Thank you so much for your time, and I thank you for listening. If you have any questions, any comments, you are welcome to reach out to me. I'll talk to you soon.